Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we have Hercules, the son of Zeus, and the Lion of Olympus versus Thor, the god of thunder, son of Odin. Let's get straight into this. Intelligence. This isn't by a huge degree, but Thor again, commonly regarded as an idiot. Hercules completed the 12 labors, right? And to do that requires some degree of intelligence. Like critical thinking. Thor doesn't really have that. Fighting ability and battle IQ. Now, this is ultimately, and this is why I'm going to give this one a tie. While I'm aware that Thor was able to take out Kratos who, by the way, was severely holding back. I know Thor was too, but you have that versus Hercules, who was taking on Kratos with all the weapons and abilities that he had at that time, and he was able to parry, dodge attacks with the enemy ancestors also, and when he lost the enemy ancestors, he was also able to quickly evade any of Kratos' attacks. Not to mention, Kratos knows how to wrestle and box. I think pancration, is the fighting style that he uses. Right? If you look at how they fight, Thor is primarily a striker. He knows how to use punches and kicks. Hercules knows how to grapple, and he knows how to punch. I'm not saying he doesn't know how to kick, but as far as we know, he hasn't shown the ability to throw any kicks. Right? But he can definitely punch and grapple. Having the ability to both grapple and strike is an advantage in a fight. Right? And in terms of strategy, again, Thor doesn't really use much in the way of strategy. Again, it's primarily battle instincts. Right? He kind of just knows what to do when the opportunity arises. It's not because of strategy or anything. He just knows it. That's what he has to do. With Hercules, he fought the Nemean Lion, the Erythmian Boar, the Hydra. Right? He's been in numerous battle situations. He was also part of the Argonauts, which I'm pretty sure is considered canon within the God of War universe. So Hercules has been on numerous, he's been in numerous combat situations, to say the least. And he's definitely more of a strategist than Thor is considered at this point. Strength, I gave Atlas this point for the same reason I'm giving to Hercules, except that Hercules is actually, again, and I said this before, and I think I may have mentioned this in my Atlas versus Thor video, is that Hercules held the Earth, the Greek world, better than Atlas did as a demigod. So if I give the point to Atlas in that situation, I'm going to have to give the point to Hercules by that logic. I have to. Speed, well, that's no question going to Thor. While I'm aware that Hercules' combat speed is probably up there with Thor's, in fact, they're probably equivalent. In terms of overall speed, so that means movement speed and whatnot, Thor is definitely faster. No question. Durability. Now, this one's actually a tough one because you're dealing with two tanks of their respective pantheons. Again, Hercules could tank blows from the enemy ancestors as well as the Blade of Olympus, right? Thor, a punch can, a normal punch from Thor was able to knock a tooth loose from Thor, or a normal punch from Kratos was able to knock a tooth loose from Thor. With Hercules, it took 19 blows from the enemy ancestors to kill him. I think in terms of durability, I'll give a slight edge to Hercules because the guy was able to tank fully bloodlusted hits from Kratos after Hades' Soul Lamp. That I think is far more impressive than getting. Don't get me wrong, Thor can take a lot, but I think Hercules definitely has a slightly greater durability, or he's got a slight durability advantage. Invulnerability, I'm gonna give this to Thor because as you can see, he's got a little bit more armor on. He's covered from head to toe. Hercules, as you can see, has got way more exposed. His arms are covered because of the gauntlets and the shoulder guards. Of course, he's got the helmet too. But at this point, I would say Thor definitely has just better armor to go with it. Energy production AP, no question, this is going to Thor. There is no question about that. at this point, again, Mjolnir is pretty much the deciding factor. Versatility, that goes to Thor as well. And the X factor in hacks. Now this is an interesting fight. What does one have that the other can't necessarily deal with? The truth is, both of these guys could handle each other pretty well. Hercules took on Kratos. People, and this is the one thing that people don't really talk about, is that when Hercules actually did like a thunderclap with his Nemean Cestus, Kratos was actually temporarily, like, I'm not sure if he was knocked out, but he was disoriented enough for Hercules to, like, kind of like gloat to Hera. So he's definitely strong enough and powerful enough to beat Thor, like beat him into a pulp. Thor is also very, equally as capable of doing the same to Hercules. The thing is that, honestly, I don't know, because if Thor throws Mjolnir at Hercules, could Hercules dodge it? Yes. If Hercules can block the Helios light attack, like the blinding attack, and he can dodge attacks from Kratos himself, then he's definitely more than capable of dodging Mjolnir. Definitely. Right? So, I honestly think the X factor in the hacks, I'm actually going to give this a tie. Because when it comes down to it, when it gets in close, I think Hercules will have a slight edge. If Hercules loses the gauntlets, because they're not going to get destroyed in the fight. Thor with Mjolnir shouldn't be. Mjolnir and the Nemean Cestus are relatively the same in terms of durability. You can't really break it. You can't break them. They're the most durable weapons within their respective pantheons, as far as what I'm aware of. So if Hercules were to drop the Cestus and Thor were to drop Mjolnir and they were to just punch each other or whatever and just go hand to hand, I think Hercules is winning that. From a range, Thor is going to win it because he's got lightning that he can manipulate and use, and that'll definitely help him. Not to mention flight and just a greater speed advantage. So I think in the end, overall, I think Thor is going to win. But if you were to put this in like a 7-fight series, I think Thor is winning four out of the 7. It's going to be a 4-3. It's incredibly close. They're both incredibly powerful, and again, Hercules isn't a full-on god at this point. That's the thing I think people tend to forget, is that Hercules is not a god. He is a demigod within the God of War universe. Kratos kind of assumed Hercules' role, because in Greek mythology, Hercules ascended to godhood because Zeus took pity on him after I think his wife tried to, or mistakenly or purposely tried to poison him with Hydra venom, and he tried to get burned at a pyre or whatever, and Zeus just said, I'll bring you to divinity, son, and he ended up marrying, I think, Hebe, who was the goddess of youth. That's what the mythological story is for Hercules. So it's interesting to note that a demigod as powerful as Hercules could give Thor a really good fight. So yeah, anyways, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave any insight in the comment section below. I hope you have a great day, and stay tuned for more.